No.
I will make a motion to accept the meeting minutes as written. Do I have a second?
Second. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. And you all should have your treasurer's report for the month. Any questions on the treasurer's report?
If there are no questions, I'll make a motion to accept it.
Do I have a second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. September bills. Any questions on the board on the bills?
Nothing outside the corrections we found.
Okay. Then I will make a motion to pay voucher 1 through 29 for a total of $192,779.54.
Second.
Second. Tony?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Becky?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
I do not have any communications this month. Commissioners, general, the last day to notify the district secretary in writing of intent to run for commissioner, the upcoming commissioner position is November 18th. I don't have anything under admin, Chris, unless you do. Financial report, there's nothing new to report under financials. So, Tony, do you have anything for truck maintenance?
Yeah, a couple things. I've got to get Baldwinsville Squad 2 next week to replace the light, or I'm sorry, the siren and fire control, and do an oil change at the same time. It makes sense to do them both. I'm going to be using the wailing siren that we removed out of the chief's car. Save a couple dollars on that. And I'm going to need an RTP. Maybe can you fill one out for me? I'll get to you the information, but that's on the horizon. As I said, the PMs are done. The engine 4 brake issue seems to be rectified. I'm sorry, engine 7, God, don't crucify me. Engine 4 is gone. Engine 7's brake seems to be rectified. We end up having to basically do both the front and rears. That's done. I believe I haven't seen any more RTPs or, quite frankly, gotten any more issues. So that's completed. Under my report, it says recommended truck 3 repairs. That's on the horizon. I'm not ready to move on that yet. Quite frankly, I want to see where we are towards the end of the year. Things are okay, but there's things that we're going to have to do. But again, I'd like to wait just a little while longer to see at the end of the year where we are for money within the budget. Everything that I'm aware of seems to be moving forward. The one thing that I haven't done this summer that I had planned was tires for Lysander Squad 1 and Rescue 7. I do have an RTP filled out, but I didn't get that done yet, and I got to present quotes to you guys. But that's on the horizon too. But other than that, I think we're moving all right. Yeah, we could talk about the rescue pumper. As you can see, that's Rescue 6. We're excited to have it here. We're real close to getting it into service for the taxpayers. We're waiting on the training from the manufacturer to come through. There's kind of a train-to-trainer program due to the COVID issues. We also, the last piece that was done recently was the install of the computer. Once the train-to-trainer program's been done, we turn the truck over to the chief and they get it assigned to which station and and all of that. We're excited to have that project wrapped up.
The training is Saturday.
I'm sorry?
The training is Saturday.
Okay. 2, phone in service 2.
Building and grounds, Jeff.
Just the pole barn electric, like the workshop, I gave you some numbers and costs, and just need a final approval to go ahead with the project. It's $4,000, $4,000, I think.
So based on the workshop, I'll make a motion that we set a budget at $4,000 to get the electric and lights done in pole barn.
I'd be willing to second that, get it done before winter.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anything else? Wayne is not here tonight, but I do have the 2 RTPs from the workshop. RTP 1913 for disposal, 10 boxes of disposable mats at $50 a piece for a total of $500. And 6 mop and broom buckets, $10 a piece for a total of $60. So $560 for the 2 RTPs.
I'll make a motion to move forward with RTP 1913 and 14 for a total of $560.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Need a second.
I'll second.
Getting a little ahead of myself there. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. John, you had a couple of requests for,
So, I'm sorry, the RTPs weren't listed on there because I forgot to read them out last meeting. 1731 is for the pipe for the smoke machine for the $500 and 4 training vehicles. Armored training.
That's for both of them, John?
Yes. And then the RTP for the training and analyst is 1732. And I would like to also amend that just because one other chief is available to go, so total of 2 chiefs and 2 firefighters. For a total of $130. However, we're going to reserve that.
Sorry, what's the total?
$130.
It already got 65 in it.
$1,230.
oh, it already had it in there. Yeah, you're right then.
What's the number?
You're right.
Hate saying that.
I know. That means something.
I will make a motion to go forward with the, you know, the RTP list.
1731, 1732.
You know, there's 3 line items, there's 2 RTPs.
Two, both for training sites, none of the same RTP.
Okay, I will make a motion to go forward with 1731 and 1732 for $1,230. I checked the budget, there's plenty of money in the training budget.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Security and computers, look for Chris.
For the Chris. I got no.
We got the advanced IT contract signed last week, so we're gonna start towards the end of the week getting stuff changed over and everything on board. It's the only update I have.
Safety update, Mr. Hopper.
Yeah, so you had an individual complaining of ankle pain during the performance of the training evolutions, SCBA training. Individual was evaluated, no further treatment was required. It's a report only, we checked up, followed up on the individual, and he's doing okay, so no further action at this time. No other received. Annual physicals, we're coming up on the 14th, is another set of physicals. If you're supposed to be there that day, you put information in your mailbox. If you don't have that information, contact Roxy Equipment or myself and make sure you get it to you. What this does is it helps you up through the line quicker than if you hadn't filled out the top half of that form. If you have questions, please ask. Let's see. Last two things on the flip side here. PPE inspection, what's that mean? Well, we're going to do some random inspections over a period of a year. I'm not going to single anybody out. I'm going to do problems and ideas to see how the year's going, how people are taking care of it. Got a lot of people here do a lot of runs. Take care of the gear very well. We're just going to verify that happens. Especially with the new year coming in, be a good time to start. The only time I have about COVID is the tracing logs or a specialty tool, you want to call it that, to be able to trace back and document exposures. So even I've slipped up, I've been coached a couple of times, I'll fix it so it doesn't happen again. But making sure times are entered properly, temps are entered properly, will be a big help to, if we do have a situation where we have to go back to those logs and figure out what's going on. That's all I have right now. Anybody have any questions for me?
Bill, are we caught back up from the COVID backlog from being shut down with physicals and
we're still doing physicals. We're still using the mindset and the setup, especially when you're doing a respiratory piece of it would have the large sneeze shield, as I call it. All that still remains in play.
Right, but are the people that were backlogged from March, April, May all caught back up?
I think I've got two left.
Okay.
I just need bits and pieces. Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question for it. Yeah, we're in pretty good shape. We're almost back to where we should be. Just a couple of individuals.
Okay, thank you.
You're on the executive and talk to and schedule, so we should be in good shape. Thank you.
Chief's report.
So in August, Lysander responded to 20 alarms and Baldwinsville responded to 64. And then other than that, I have the fleet review to go over, if I may. So in 2013, the companies that now make up the Northwest Fire District, Baldwinsville and Lysander, had 5 engines or TPs, 3 aerials, 1 heavy rescue, 1 light rescue, 5 squads, 4 water rescues, 1 snowmobile, 5 trailers, and 7 chief's vehicles, for a total of 33 vehicles, and 1 tanker, for a total of 33 vehicles. Currently in 2020, there are 3 engines, 1 RP, 3 aerials, 4 squads, 3 water rescues, 4 trailers, 6 chief's vehicles, 1 miscellaneous maintenance truck, and 1 M vehicle that serves, as a retired chief's vehicle that serves for multi-purpose, for a total of 20, and 1 tanker, 1 light rescue, and 1 snowmobile, for a total of 29 vehicles. This is a reduction of 4 vehicles. The immediate plans recommended by myself and in discussion with the chiefs is ladder 3, further reducing the price and re-advertising for additional push and sale. Ladder 2 is still listed for sale and should remain so, but lowering the price again would be counterproductive as to what it's currently listed for. Further reduction will far exceed, the replacement vehicle would far exceed monies taken in, and replacement options, of course, we are always considering reviewing, working with the district. Repair costs of the vehicle, of course, we recommend be examined prior to any major repairs. Just on a side note, ISO, specifically when they came in before, recommended maintain 2 aerial devices within the Baldwinsville response area. Truck 3 is a reminder that Truck 3 is scheduled for replacement in 2028 as agreed upon purchase. Chief's vehicles, a reduction of chief officers to 5 for 2021 will also result in the reduction of 1 additional vehicle. Squad 1 will soon be taken out of service and surplus. Recommendation to be replaced with Lysander Squad 1 until a new squad can be afforded/ordered. And Lysander Squad 1 will be reevaluated at time for either return to service within the district or surplus. The hazmat trailer equipment will be redistributed mostly to the new rescue and or moved to stores. Additionally, we should keep for the equipment or equipment that we no longer utilize under our current operations mode for surplus. So the end result will be an additional reduction of 4 vehicles in the near future for a total of 25.
you have FASB training on there.
We just covered that, it was just the update to the RTP.
Okay. Moving on, Baldwinsville has 2 new, wait, is it resignations? Okay. Benjamin Howard Green and Michael Wickens Jr. We have no new members and no status or update changes of any members. Old business, Baldwinsville Station 3 update. So as many of you saw today, progress is being made. The flooring is in on the meeting room, officer room, living quarters. Cabinets are going in. The apparatus bay, the flooring is going to go in starting tomorrow. And they said that can take up to a week to a week and a half for it to totally cure. And then we have on the 21st some office furniture being delivered in. So progress is being made. I'd like to say that we have a tentative moving date, but still pending the sewer line and getting the lift station in until we can get those 2 items taken care of. Obviously, we can't take occupancy of the building. But hopefully it's right around the corner is what I'm hoping. I'm going to skip over that for 1 second. We did sell engine 4. It has been paid for, it has been picked up, and it is no longer in our possession. Attorney, we had pending, we had sent out letters to different attorneys in the area just to check on pricing, to see what their availability was. We were very limited and think we only received the 1 back. Others either declined because they have a past relationship or they have a current relationship with Baldwinsville. In distance was the other one. Attorneys in Albany was a distance issue. So with that, we had obviously just the one local attorney, Brad Pinsky, replied, answered all of the questions. I don't know if everyone had a chance to look over those replies and answers, if anyone had any questions. He's not obviously here to answer them, but we can certainly reach out to him if anyone had any questions on anything that he answered.
We had asked about 25 questions, everything from, rates, emergency, phone calls, availability, 25 seeker, trial, etc., etc. And I'll tell you the names that we sent letters to. Mark Butler, Brad Pinsky, Bill Young, Joe Frank, and I'm drawing a blank on the last one. Oh, Terry Hannigan. That's 5 different attorneys that are fire service attorneys. Because what we don't want to do is hire an attorney that's a real estate person. We need a fire service attorney. There's a lot of things that we're dealing with as a fire district. So we got responses back from Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler works with Baldwinsville Fire, so he declined. Terry never responded. Joe Frank said thanks, but no thanks, you can't, too far. Brad Pinsky went through and laid it all out. With that being said, I'm willing to make a motion to hire Brad Pinsky to represent the Northwest Fire District and hold him as our attorney officially as the date of, bear with me, just thinking about something. November 1st. I know November 1st is the date. I know there was some, thoughts about making it January 1st, but I'm pushing it for November 1st. That's my formal motion to hire Brad Pinsky as the attorney for Northwest Fire District.
Do I have a second?
Just a question, Tony, why November 1st and not?
Because I believe there's a couple things that we need to wrap up with Mr. Young that I think he's in the middle of right now, and I didn't want to make that sticky. I just think, 60 days, 60 days we could you know, as, you know, Mr. Young knows, this is coming. We've
Yep.
been honest with him. I think it just gives us enough time to make sure there's a smooth transition.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passed. Any other old business that anybody has?
I do. I think this is where it fits. I want to address the social media issue that we've been kind of dealing with over the last, more so the last few weeks. And I think normally wouldn't bring this up in a fashion like this, but quite frankly, to respond back and forth, you know, on a website or a web page just does no justice. So there's some facts that, some things that were posted. An article that was drafted on Syracuse.com, there was some facts on there. There's some factual information. But what's interesting to me, and the reason why I bring it up, is I too am a catalyst of this fire district. I too was involved since day one. These four people to my left were not. They're kind of the byproduct of what we created. Okay, let me be very clear on this. So some of these things in here, we did a little bit of research, I did, and I felt that, again, why was the fire district created? The district was created, and we can actually agree on this, that both companies needed assistance. They needed some things. Lysander Fire District Fire Department was struggling with manpower. That's a fact. Baldwinsville Fire Department needed a fire district. There's many reasons. There's lots of lies, lots of misinformation. Town of Van Buren said, listen, we're not into the fire business anymore. Okay, it's very important why this district was created. And, oh, by the way, in here, it referenced debt of the Baldwinsville Fire Department. That's true. Baldwinsville Fire Department had debt. Nobody asked the question as to why. They were in debt to provide fire service to our district. May not agree how we got there, but they were in debt with buildings and fire trucks. But that's why they're in debt. It's not posted that they were doing chicken barbecues to pay the bills. That's many facets under here. You know, truck replacement. We're accused of not reducing the fleet. Just proved it and proven it again. But what's interesting is, yes, Chief Rosique said we're reducing, but where we are today and where we're going to tomorrow may change. We may need more, we may need less. But the reality is, a fire department, a town, a village, as things grow and needs change, it's our job to change with the times. So what's interesting is, I agree with the author of that article that how we had planned to do things didn't happen. I agree with that, 100%. But me as a commissioner, and the reason why I'm so vocal about this is a few years ago, I had a conversation with the other commissioners that were on board and said, man, did you ever think that maybe our vision was very different? We wanted to go and make everything awesome. We wanted each fire department to operate individually, one board of fire commissioners to pay the bills, take care of the taxpayers' money, and do it reasonably and sensibly. Our mission then, and where it is today and tomorrow, is to provide fire protection with a financial means and take care of the taxpayers' money. The goal is still the same. What's interesting, and where I disagree, is a couple of years ago, I thought, man, what we're doing isn't working. That was fact. Now, my name and Chris Courier's name was dragged through the mud on the internet. And that's okay, per se. But the reality was, you know, I've been accused of being a turncoat, a liar, a dillweed. I don't even know what a dillweed is. But it's in writing, right? It's in writing, and we're supposed to just blow that up, and that's okay. You know, that comes from disgruntled past members, disgruntled past administrators, and that's okay. It really is okay. But what's interesting is these people up here, per law, and oh, by the way, it's law, Article 11, Section 175, the election law, membership of the volunteer fire company shall not disqualify any such district commissioner, treasurer, secretary person who has been convicted of arson. The reality is, if you're over 18 years old, you are a voting, or you're a registered voter, and you live within the 4 walls of our fire district, 52 square miles, by the way, you're eligible to run for a commission. Our board, what we started with back in day 1, had a mission. With that being said, some of the things we did wrong, and I said me too, was we didn't follow the attorney's advice. We hired Mark Butler. He gave us a roadmap to get to where we needed to go. We didn't follow that. So the board, as they come and go, and the members come and go, because another thing that I agree with the author on is we've had many commissioners come in the front door, and they're with us for a year or 2 or the term, and then they're gone. That didn't help anything, but we didn't follow what the attorney advised us. So that board that come in and went out was putting out spot fires. That's another term that I use. We're putting out spot fires. We weren't building for tomorrow, let alone 2 years or 3 years, or when are we going to build and buy fire trucks, or where to build firehouses. We were just trying to survive, and it wasn't financial survival. It's again, getting along. The attorney told us how to do it. We didn't do it. So the reality is, these guys, and as you chastise these guys, they're just trying to fix what happened. Okay? We will change and do things differently. We have laws to work with it. Okay? We're going to hire different attorneys. We're going to change IT people. We might change the way we pay our bills. Hell, I don't know. But things are going to be different. What doesn't change is the quality of service that this residents get and our taxpayers get. If you look at the back of the room, 2 o'clock in the morning, they're there. 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they're there. If it's fire, they're out in the hall. If it's cutting people out of the car, they've been through hell being beaten up by certain people. And opinions are okay. But the greater good, and I want to make this a point, in the letter also said that the system's not broken with what those guys do. I want to make that a point. In this letter, it said that part of what we do is not broken. It's how we do things. Well, we have laws to work with, bottom line. We talk about taxes, right? In there it said it was raised twice in taxes. In 2007 or 2013, the Lysander Fire District tax rate was $2.62 a thousand. In 2014, it was $1.67. It's a 37% decrease. That wasn't matching. That's not good for everybody, but it was good for that portion. And then in 2021, after we voted, our increase went to $1.90. So again, when we do things, unfortunately, things change. I'm a taxpayer. These are taxpayers, and so are you guys. We just, there's so much. We have, in this fire district, 62 level 1 to 3 firemen. Level 4 in Rams, we have 18. Active members, a total of 80. You go to any fire department that surrounds us and then go above them and ask them who has those kinds of numbers. This fire district, that's who has those kinds of numbers. Purchasing policy. We're getting accused of violating our purchase policy. The purchasing policy, fair bidding, all items over $20,000 have been sent to bid. All contract work over $35,000 has been sent to bid. General Municipal Law, Article 5, Section A, Section 103. IT is an example. We got 3 proposals. Radio systems. Station 3 had 2 quotes. One was significantly late, 4 weeks. We got a question on moving the tanker. The reason why we moved the tanker is not to discipline anybody. We moved the tanker to make sure that it covers the entire district. We want to make sure that we're doing right. The chief said, hey, this is what we needed to do. And if that's what the guy gets elected to do and it makes sense, I'm going to back him. You know, Rescue 6. Why is it parked? Where is it parked? We have reasons for doing things. You know, NFPA dictates what we do. We can say we're not an NFPA fire department or a fire district, but the minute we don't follow NFPA, what happens? Somebody gets sued. Somebody dies. Call it what you will. Apparatus, he covered that. I'm not going to cover that. With that being said, this board, and I assure you, Tony McIntyre had 3 options when this all came about 2 years ago. Quit. Because things weren't going my way. I wasn't happy where we were going. My way of proposing it to the members back there, it's not that way. It's not how, we're not operating how I proposed it. So I had a choice. I leave, I give up, and I back out on the taxpayers that voted me in. 2, I bury my head in the sand and keep pushing away, keep pushing, because that's not how we did it yesterday. Or 3, accept that what I wanted to do and how I wanted to get there is just not working. So I chose to shift gears. I talked to other fire districts, I talked to other fire departments, I talked to other fire chiefs, I talked to some of our members. The common thing was they want to go to fires, they want to put fires out, they want to take care of our community and taxpayers. And you know what? If I got to change and admit that, you know, it's not the way I want it, and if you can call me a liar or call this board a liar, that's okay. I know in the end, I'm doing the right thing. And if people can't accept that, I apologize, but you have no right to continuously badger Chris Courier. He come in from the outside. He's only been a member in this community 2.5, 3 years maybe. The reason why you run for the board, Chris, did you run for the money? No, there's no money. By state law, we can't. There's no money, right? State law. With that being said, we just want to help our taxpayers. That's all we're trying to do. And if I make a mistake, we make a mistake. But I can tell you, we're doing the best we can. And the social media policy, and by the way, we do have a strict social media policy. Within our policies and procedures. We believe in the freedom of speech, but we don't believe in slanderous remarks. And I'm not saying any one of individual, because again, I want to reference one more time, Syracuse.com, there was some fact stuff in there. What it was missing is why. That's everything I had to cover. And again, we're here to the end. That's our job. If anything I missed, commissioners, that's that.
Any other old business? All right. New business. The lawn care snow plowing contract is coming up. Megan very kindly pulled the old contract for us so we can see it. We'll definitely have to make some changes to it. Just make sure that we get rid of the Oneida Street address. Yeah, we'll have to go through and clean this up before we can resend it out. So everyone make sure you take a peek at it so that you can kind of double check each other. And then we can have it back to Megan and we can revise the workshop.
Yeah, knock it out.
Okay. business that was left off, and I apologize because I was a little bit behind today. We do have a resolution for permissive referendum. It is to the $200,000 that we agreed we would pay towards the new Station 3 from the building fund into the capital project fund so that we can start tapping into getting things like when the bills come into the office furniture and the other items, the soft costs that we're going to be responsible for. So, permissive referendum, I believe it's 2027, but we need to make sure you check that number. It is hereby resolved by the Board of Fire Commissioners to remove a sum of money not to exceed $200,000 from the building fund of the Northwest Fire District for the purpose of paying costs on new Station 3, being subject to a permissive referendum pursuant to Section 6G7 of the Municipal Law of the State of New York. This resolution having been adopted by the Board of Fire Commissioners herein indicated on the 8th day of September 2020. I apologize. Can you guys just head that down a minute.
Becky?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Tony?
Yes.
Casey?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
And the notice that has to go in the paper is behind it, so you can know as well. Thank you. I thought I did the last time, but we can do it again. Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's fine. So we talked about the, sorry, I'm just going to backtrack just a second to explain some of this. So I know at the last meeting I talked about the sewer system, but just to clear it, just so that there's a bunch of different people here that may not know. When we purchased the building, it was discovered that the lift station was inoperable. The lift station is what helps pump out the sewer. So we had to, so we were required to go out and get a new lift station. In the meantime, as we were finding out about the lift station, it was also discovered that the basin that the lift station pumps to, which then gets pumped into the bigger building on the site and pumped out to the street, is not functioning properly, and sewage from the bigger building is backing up into that basin. After the plumbers looked at it, their recommendation to us was that they could make some costly repairs to the basin, but at some point, that sewer is going to back up into our building. It's not a matter of could it, it's a matter of when it's going to happen. So the board discussed it, and we made the decision to put in our own sewer line so that we do not have to worry about the sewage from the other building potentially backing up into our building. I shouldn't say potentially. At some point it will. And we figured it would be less costly now to put in a sewer line than do it 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever, 2 years from now, when we would have to dig up all of the asphalt to put in a sewer line. So that additional cost, still keeping within some of this money that is going to that, unfortunately, was $113,000 to put in the lift station and the new sewer line. So it was an expense that we were not expecting. We knew that there would be some expenses that would occur that we would be responsible for. We weren't expecting such a big expense, but we weren't at our cap as far as the money that we had to spend, but that has leaked into that cap. There is no station usage report. Okay, before I get into the next section, which is comments from the public, there is a lot of public here tonight that we don't normally have. So please be respectful, limit your time. If you have a lot to say, try to keep it to 5 minutes, just to make sure that we can get through everyone. Anything else? Okay. All right. Comments from the public. Maureen.
In keeping with Commissioner McIntyre's comments about social media, I've learned in the past couple weeks, and I'm going to say everything, and at the end, correct me if anything is wrong. With Wayne's truck, the replacement of Wayne's truck, it was my understanding that he was using his personal vehicle because the pickup that he would normally use was being used by a chief, so it was not available. And the district's insurance paid off his truck, but the truck that he chose to get, he is paying the difference himself. The district is not paying for it. Is any of that wrong? Okay. Because I wouldn't have known that reading the comments on social media. It's like opposite. Okay, thank you.
Sean?
I prepared a little something that's just on my phone, so if I'm not looking up here, I'm not disrespecting. So, good evening, first off. Commissioners, thank you for giving me the moment to say a few words at this month's Northwest Fire District meeting. Some of the public members here might not know me, but I'm Sean Donut, the President and Safety Officer of the Baldwinsville Fire Department, where I've been a member for 16 years. The reason I came here tonight is not only to show support for the Baldwinsville Fire Department, but to you in the Northwest Fire District. I want to say thank you for all that you've done to protect the community of this fire district, provide the much needed apparatus to protect this community and the stations to house all of those tools and a place for us to have a sense of pride and belonging. Now, not everyone will agree on your vision of the Northwest Fire District. There's always going to be a disgruntled community member or district member. We all know that not everyone will be happy with everything. I want to empower you and encourage you to continue to protect and provide for this community just like you have done. But I want to ask you to stand up to the negative narrative that's been painting a negative light on not only the Northwest Fire District, but the Baldwinsville Fire Department. Show the community and the members the facts. Prove what you were doing is the right thing to do, and that you're doing what you told the public you would do. Please educate the community and district members so all the negative publicity will cease and our morale can finally grow. The members of the Baldwinsville Fire Department are tired of hearing our name and the district's names and some of our member names dragged through the mud. Everyone has the right to their opinion, but things need to be kept civil and professional. The negativity just needs to stop. In closing, I want to say again that I support you, and the Baldwinsville Fire Department will continue to do what they do best, and that is to be there for their community of the Northwest Fire District in their time of need. Thank you.
Any other comments?
I'll stand up. Everybody knows why everybody's here. It's because of my article. I'm not embarrassed for that article. I did the best I could do in that article. I missed out on the Lysander thing, but I was also told by the newspaper I had to keep things short, just basic, and my goal was to try to get taxpayers here. I never said anything bad about this fire department. And in fact, in there, I said you were doing an excellent job. I don't know what I've done to the members in this fire department. I've been treated like shit lately, to be honest with you. I don't think that's fair. You're supposed to have a brotherhood, and it's not a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood if you go along with the group. If you're not with the group, you're going to get treated badly. Bottom line, I still haven't had my physical. I still haven't been released, and I took the classes I needed. And I can't go to the firehouse. As far as the tanker goes, that issue was because no Lysander fire people knew about it. It was taken and they didn't even know it. Now whether the chiefs out there knew it and didn't tell anybody, I don't know and I don't care. And the reduction of the fleet, John, to use the 2013 date is wrong. Because when the district took over, there was 2 trucks that were junk. That platform truck, they'd only seen 5 calls. Everybody knew it had to go. and the truck that Casey got rid of that was used on Lysander that had the big weight on it. How about taking a time when a decision was made by you, Tom Perkins, and the chiefs of how many trucks was needed and what needed to be replaced? That hasn't happened because we change how many trucks we need and everything else daily. I asked for 4 years for somebody to find out why the Lysander firemen were so disgruntled. It didn't happen. Never found out. Just do what we say or get out. What happened? They got out. They got treated poorly when they came down here. Maybe it wasn't by any of you. I don't know, and I don't care because I ain't using names. As far as Penske, I think it's a big mistake. The man did not help out the Baldwinsville Fire Department at all, and I don't care if he sees this. Bill Young is the best in New York State for district law. You don't like him, Tony, because you can't talk to him on a regular basis, but Penske, you can stop in and see him anytime you want. The man is the best. And I would think that this board, who's used him, and this Lysander Fire District, who's used him for 40 years, when they didn't get a letter from him, might have called him and said, hey, Bill, did you get the letter? Was it sent certified mail? No, it wasn't. Call him and say, did you get the letter? Nobody bothered calling him, did they? That's just wrong. The next thing I have is not for me. I was stopped today by 2 of the girls from the group that use Lysander Station 1 Hall. They know you're opening up the station for different things. They want to know why they can't do their low impact exercise class in that room. First off, 3/4 of them are either Lysander Auxiliary or life members of Lysander Auxiliary. They go in there, they're in there an hour and a half in the morning. There's only, I think, 8 of them. And they're in a big circle and they do low impact. And they got nowhere else to go. So I asked the board to please think about maybe allowing them girls to go in there. It ain't like they go in there for a dance class. They're all elderly people. It's just low impact to keep their heart rates up and keep them in shape. That's all I got.
Any other public comments? All right.
Can I respond to the one thing that Jack said?
Yeah, feel free.
Jack, New York State wasn't allowing gyms to open up till last week, so why would we open that up to them?
It's
Jack, it's a gym at that point.
I don't know.
It's a gym at that point. Okay, it's exercise involved. It's considered a gym at that point. That just opened up last Monday. So if anything, we can revisit that at this point and maybe allow it. But if you're asking that question on that, that was considered a gym. New York State's gyms just opened up.
I understand.
And on top of that, I never saw one station request to use that for that purpose. Not once did I see something come across, somebody asked us to do that. So, I don't know how we're expected
They were asked 2 years ago and they said go ahead. They don't do it every
years ago,
month.
but when things close down, I think, honestly, we should be getting, I guess, something in writing asking for that at this point.
Well, not for nothing. The buildings have been closed to the public, and they have not been opened yet. If the members of the companies wanted to have a meeting, and you follow the social distancing guidelines, you open that up. We've opened that up for the members. Right now, we're in a national pandemic. It's a public building that is not open to outside of our members. That has not changed. And we've allowed training. We've allowed training for the members of following social distancing. If your auxiliary wants to, we can talk about that as long as they're members. But if they're not members, Just like they can't go do it at the village hall that I'm aware of. I don't know if that's open to the public now or not. That's where we're at. We're in a national pandemic. Nothing against, I hate to do a dance class, but if we're going to do one here, I'll do it. But it's not open to the public. We're not there yet.
I just don't understand that thing.
Jack, I'm sorry. We're not open to the public yet. We're just not.
Why aren't we open to the public for certain things? That's my question. Why?
You're responsible for the members. When we deem it safe, when we deem it, and the governor opens things up, then we can do it. I'm not going against the governor. That's it. That's all. Even over the authority having jurisdiction, unless you're suggesting, this is crazy for me down this road, I'm not going to put the liability on our residents and their taxes. I'm not doing it.
They are your residents. Them are the people that want to use it.
Again, buildings are closed to the public.
Well, I was just asked by life members of the fire department and that to bring it and ask you guys to please revisit it. It's 8 people. They go in the hall, they don't go in the bay area, they don't go in the kitchen. They don't do anything there except take 6 chairs and put them in a great big circle and walk around them. That's all I can tell you. And they've been doing it for over a year and a half. It was brought to the district. Here's the problem, Chris. There's a lot of things that were done before you. You can't just come in and say, well, I haven't heard it, so shut it down. That's wrong.
I haven't heard it since we've allowed our members to come back in these buildings. I don't care what happened 3 years ago. I don't care what happened a year ago when they were authorized. We had COVID hit this year. This year, since I've been a commissioner, this year, we shut the buildings down. No one's asked, hey, can we start this back up again? But like Commissioner McIntyre said, if it is members, they can come.
I'll relay the message to them. That's all I can do for you. Sorry. They're trying to understand it. They're a farm community out there. That's what, how pardon?
Then they should come to us and ask us. No one called, no one picked up the phone and said, hey, we've got 8 members sitting here, we'd like to come back and do this. Is it okay? If they don't ask the question, if they don't come to us, then we can't
I was
give
under
them
the
an
impression
answer.
they sent you an email.
Nothing.
Nobody sent us an
Nothing.
email.
Nothing.